talk to you about the benefits of networking, how I've used the power of networking in my life, and how most importantly, we are called to network. We all have unique gifts, skills, talents, and abilities that this world truly needs. In this video, we're going to talk more about that. If you're just tuning in for the first time, first episode you listen to, we're talking about all things networking. Networking. And back in the day, I used to think that networking was something that was like icky, like, oh. But actually, networking is, I think we're all called to network. We are called to network. And if you think about it, life is one big network. So I used to think about networking as like you'd have to go to some social event and like everyone has like a small glass of wine and they're chit-chatting and doing small talk and elevator pitches and stuff. Put that all to rest. That is not what networking is. Networking is your life. Right? Networking is how everything is interconnected. And what I've been sharing is my career, my jobs that I've had. When I started when I was 14, episode 1, I talked about 14, when I was 14, how I got my first job and how I got that job through networking. Terrified though, two ways. Terrified of networking and terrified of what that job entailed. And then also episode 2, I go on to my public safety, talking about some of that stuff there and how that all started and how that network had happened. And episode 3 is where we are now. Episode 3, I'll be talking a little bit more about networking. And I guess, man, do I got to give you that? My last episode, okay, I'll tell you this. I'll give you this. You say go back and listen to it then. It's great. Last episode, I talked about networking and how I actually started with volunteering with the rescue squad. And I got my EMT certification and started working there and worked a couple other places because I had the EMT certification or got into the EMS field with a particular rescue squad. And again, I'll let you listen to episode 2 so you can figure out that information. And this led me to getting that job at Busch Gardens. Woohoo! Busch Gardens in Williamsburg. And this is actually a special episode, episode 3. I'm going to share another nugget in the end of this episode about networking and how this really interconnects everything for me and really has had so much impact on my life. Again, the reason why I'm sharing these things is to give you insights to yourself, right? To remind you that you have unique skills, talents, abilities that this world needs, and that the pain of your past and your present is fuel for your purpose. And so when you can start to see that and see how all of your things in your life are interconnected, they're all networked together, you'll start to realize that the pain of your past is for purpose and start to use those things to help other people out. And so this, working at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, or Busch Gardens Europe, located in Williamsburg, I started working there. Actually, I wanted to work there. It's kind of funny when I wanted to work there because I wanted to be a police officer all my life. And so when I first thought about working there, oh, excuse me. When I first started thought about working there, I wanted to work as a security officer. Right? So naturally, right, I wanted to be a police officer. So naturally, I thought security was the best line of work to go into. But lo and behold, I'm 18. I go there to get a job, and they're like, nah, you got to be 19 to be a security officer. I'm like, what? It's like, all you have to be is 18 to be an EMT. I'm like, no brainer. I'm 18. I'll be an EMT, sure. So I did that. I worked as an EMT at Busch Gardens. And actually, the part of networking is I actually knew people who worked there already. So actually, the person who interviewed me, it wasn't really like a full formal interview, but the person who interviewed me for the job at Busch Gardens actually was a firefighter with James City County Fire Department, which I was already had served there with James City County Fire Department as a fire department explorer for a couple of years, from age 14 to 16. And so now I'm 18, and I already know people who working at Busch Gardens, and then some people who served with Abilene Volunteer Fire and Rescue actually worked at Busch Gardens as well. So that networking, right? So they kind of knew my heart, they knew my work ethic, and so I got a job there very easily, working at Busch Gardens. Oh my goodness. I know I said earlier, like Radio Shack was the best job of my life, but let me tell you this, Busch Gardens was amazing. Working there, you had so much power or so much ability or resources to make people's day, right? So little things, like if someone you see someone drop their ice cream cone, like we had the power as employees to go into to the nearest ice cream place and get that person another ice cream and say, here you go, have a good day. Like just things like that was amazing. But working at Busch Gardens as an EMT, there were 5 different areas. Anyway, every 2 hours we rotated through the park. So as an EMT, I was responsible for, say, England and Scotland for 2 hours. And that was my primary zone that I had to walk and respond to calls and hand out Band-Aids and Tylenol, and sometimes we got serious calls, but for the most part, it wasn't too bad. And so that was every 2 hours we'd rotate, and that was an exciting job. I remember a couple things they taught us in orientation there, and one of the things was smile. When we smile, it says, basically smile at people. But they didn't just say be smile, they didn't just say smile and be friendly to people, to guests and things. They said smile, and when you smile, show your teeth. And then they explain why. Isn't that amazing? Like, it's great when you're able to like tell someone why they should do something or why you're telling them to do something. It gives them more of a reasoning and understanding. It connects it in their brain so that actually they can remember it and actually want to do it in many cases. So for this one, it was smile, showing your teeth, because it can be seen from a greater distance. Right? So I love it. I love smiling now. Not just because of Busch Gardens, but like the whole purpose of smiling and showing your teeth can be seen from a greater distance. So even though, for example, you could be passing one person and you smile at them, but if you smile showing your teeth, like, people can see it from a distance. So you can actually be a positive influence on other people as well. If you haven't noticed, smiling and positivity is contagious. Same thing with negativity. That's contagious too. But smiling is great, right? Again, right now in the season that we're in life, for all of us, is we're wearing masks when we go out. And the neat thing about that too is that when you give a real genuine smile, when you show your teeth, well, you're not really showing it because you got a mask on, but when you smile, that real big smile where your teeth would be showing, the corners of your eyes will crease up, and people can sense that you're actually smiling at them. So it's still good to smile at people. All right, you don't get off the hook because we're wearing masks now, but still smile. Still smile and be nice to people. But yeah, smile and showing your teeth. When you are talking with a guest at the park, we were all cast members or team members, but when we talk to a guest, someone who came there and paid to get into the park or whatnot, if you were wearing sunglasses, take your sunglasses off, they said, so you can actually have eye contact with them and have that more of a personal connection with them. Like, all these little nuggets, man. Like, that's the thing about life. Like, everything I've been through, every job, every person I've met, I'll always try to find the good nuggets to keep those, use those. And again, that's who we are, right? You are a culmination of the people around you. You're a culmination of your life experiences. I always use this example. And actually, I have twin sisters, and they're similar, but they're different. Twins, although they're twins, they can have totally different life experiences, right? And I can tell you this, I guarantee they have not met the same exact person, right? Every person we meet, whether it is direct contact, shaking their hand, talking to them, or even sometimes just that kind of not direct contact, maybe it's a subconscious level where they pass us or something, has an effect on how we view ourselves, how we view the world, and that sort of thing. So it's important to think about that. But networking is super important, like Busch Gardens. Oh, great. And I'll roll in now about how networking is so amazing, right? How I'm glad that my mom moved out of the area, so then I got a job, volunteered with the rescue squad, which led me to networking, get a job at Busch Gardens, which led me to meet this girl named Lachey. And then she later became my wife, and we've been married now for 8 years. Yeah, 8 years, since 2012. Yeah, wow. So 8 years, and we have 2 kids, a 5-year-old daughter and a son who's a handful. He's a year and 3 months, almost 4 months. But it's amazing, though, to just, again, going back to networking and how everything in your life is interconnected. So again, don't think about networking as something where it's like, it's icky, I gotta meet people, I gotta be social and all these things. I naturally say that I'm an introvert. Many people would probably say I'm an extrovert because they see me as like bubbly and I say hi to everyone. It makes me very uncomfortable when I don't say hi to someone, or when I pass someone and you make eye contact and there's no acknowledgement. Like, it's so weird to me. Like, it's just so unnatural. It's a whole lot more comfortable. Like, for me, if I go to a class, say I'm not the first one in the classroom. If I walk in the classroom and there's people in there already and they're quiet, people are usually sitting down. What are they usually doing? Where's my phone? I can't even find my phone. I guess this is good that I can't find my phone because I'm doing something. Where is my phone? I don't know where it's at. Oh, here it is. So most people, you go into a classroom and you get there, the teacher's not there yet, and they're all on their phone and right? Because no one wants to talk to anybody. And so I remember this one class, actually, in particular, a couple years ago, went to it. And I walked in, and there's probably about 10, 15 people already in the classroom. And I was like, "Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing?" And they're like, hey, some people say hi and stuff. And then one person like, are you the instructor? I'm like, no. And then of course it boils down to, oh, you're just young or you're just that or whatever. No, like why can't we be friendly? I love being energetic. Again, the other side of it though is I get very it's a lot more nerve-wracking to me to be quiet into it than when I go into a setting. That makes sense. Like to go somewhere and everyone's just kind of quiet into themselves. Let's break the ice. Let's make some connection. But anyways, networking is super important. Networking again, tying it back to everything. Episode 1, episode 2. Episode 2 is super important. Led me into episode 3 of actually, getting that job at Busch Gardens and leading me to meet my wife. And I always tell people when I usually start the story about telling people how I met my wife, I usually will say, we met each other one summer when we were working together in England. And people are like, whoa, that really gets people listening, right? I'll probably do an episode where I'll start it like that way one time when I talk about relationships. But yeah, so we met in England. And when I was on, I guess we're both on break. And the rest is history. But anyways, so this is episode 3. Hey, thank you so much for listening. I hope you got something out of this. The thing about life, again, networking. Networking is super important. Networking is not about just getting a career. Networking is not just about saying that we trying to find someone to help you. Networking is our whole entire life. God has designed us to be interconnected and dependent upon each other. When I say you have unique skills, talents, and abilities that this world needs, there's someone else that has unique skills, talents, and abilities that this world needs as well. And with us coming together and serving the world, serving God at a greater level, we can actually affect change and be a positive influence in each other's lives. So again, I go back to say this: network, network, network.